What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. And as always, to start, we're going to crack a beer and get into it. It's the Blue Moon. Moving up a little bit. Alright, cool. So today I'm starting my NFL divisional predictions. I'm going to go through each team in all 8 divisions and kind of break them down a little bit and give you guys my thoughts. And then obviously what I think their record is. So first we're going to start with the AFC East. This is a division that I don't see being very competitive this year because the Patriots are in this division. And, I mean, Tom Brady's still on the Patriots, so I think we all know what that means. But, yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so, yeah, first things first, Buffalo. Buffalo has a young defense. They obviously have Josh Allen, Shady McCoy, a decent receiving core, offensive line. But I really like their young defense. I think they have the potential to start 3-0 because they open up against the Jets, the Giants, and the Bengals. I think they could very easily go 3-0 there, or they could possibly go 0-3. I mean, those are kind of toss-up games. But it would not surprise me if they started 3-0. They do have a tough second half of the season, so they got to play New England twice. They have to play Pittsburgh. So they have a pretty Dallas. They got to play Dallas, Redskins, Eagles. They have a pretty tough schedule in the second half of the season. But I do like Cole Beasley. He had like 5 catches in the preseason game. He's a Dallas guy, so they have him now. So I think he's got a potential to have a good season. He's going to get a lot of targets. And for the young guy, Josh Allen, I think he's going to be a big asset to making Josh Allen a better quarterback. They also drafted a rookie right tackle, Cody Ford from Oklahoma, so that should improve their offensive line. That's one of their biggest, issues that they're dealing with right now is their offensive line. So they did get the rookie Cody Ford from Oklahoma, so he should obviously improve the offensive line. They got a solid running back core, TJ Yeldon, Shady McCoy, and Frank Gore. So those are 3 solid backs that should get plenty of touches, and they should have a pretty good rushing game this year. Maybe one of the top rushing games in the league with those 3 guys. Those are obviously 3 solid dudes, and I'm excited to see how they handle this season as well with the run game. Yeah, so on the defensive side, they just picked up Ed Oliver. They still have Star Lucha. I don't know how you say the dude's name. Tremaine Edmonds is a beast. They have Jordan Poyer and Tre'Davious White. Tre'Davious White's one of the top corners in the league, in my opinion. So I really like their young defense. They're going to keep getting better. Their defensive line is decent. Their linebacking core is decent with Tremaine Edmonds, and their secondary is pretty damn good. So I think if Buffalo is going to do anything this year, it's going to be on the backs of their defense. And I think on the other side of the ball, Josh Allen and those running backs and receivers, they're just going to have to, put points on the board. I don't think they're going to need to score, 30-plus points a game to win a lot of games. I think if their defense plays like I think they'll play, I think they can be a pretty decent team. But due to their schedule, I still predict them to go 6-10 just because they have a lot of tough games that I just don't see them winning. I think they're probably the second best team in this division, next to New England, but I still only predict a 6-10. Like I said, I think they'll have a good start, maybe 3-0, but their last half of the season is brutal. But the defense, if they play as a top 5 defense, they could obviously carry them to more wins, maybe go 8-8, 9-7. I see the potential for that. But my prediction is 6-10. New England. So New England, obviously coming off the Super Bowl win last year, big Super Bowl win. Gronk is now retired. But with Bill Belichick, he's got that plug-and-play offense. So I don't think, as long as you got Tom Brady in there, I don't think it really matters who your receivers or tight ends or whatever are. Josh Gordon's got reinstated, so he should be back this year, hopefully. And that's obviously going to make things a lot easier for Tom Brady to, get hitting the ball and put some points on the board. And Julian Edelman's obviously coming back. So I'm not sure who they had at tight end. But they do have Braxton Berrios and N'Keal Harry. I think Braxton Berrios is his second year, and N'Keal Harry's a rookie. He had a stupid catch last week in preseason. So I think N'Keal Harry's got a chance to break out, if not this year, next year. And the running back core is really good. They got James White and Sony Michel, 1-2 punch. They also drafted Damian Harris from Alabama, who I really like. He's got potential to be a really good NFL back. He's got good size, great vision. So I'm excited to see what Damian Harris can do. And with those 3 guys, I think Sony Michel had a great year last year as a rookie. I think he's going to get even better this year. And James White's obviously a stud too. So they still have the same solid defense. Most of the guys, most still the same. Stephon Gilmore's coming back, their star corner. So, Belichick, he's always got good defenses no matter who's in charge or who's on the team. They always have a decent defense, so they should be pretty good this year. My prediction is 12-4. They might drop 1 or 2 divisional games. They normally always lose a freaking home game like Miami in the middle of the year for whatever reason. So 12-4, I got them dropping 1 or 2 divisional games. I got them winning almost every game that every tough game and most of the games they should win minus those 2 divisional games. And I also think they'll get to the AFC Championship against, I'd say it's either going to be Kansas City. I assume it's going to be Kansas City again. We'll see how they do, but I think the Patriots are going to go to the AFC Championship and probably go to the Super Bowl again. But we'll see. New York. So we got the Jets. It's kind of funny because these other 3 teams beside New England, they kind of all are in a similar situation. Miami's got a little better receiver situation, but they're similar to Buffalo as they got a young quarterback, a young solid defense, and a really good back. Bills got Shady McCoy. Jets picked up Le'Veon Bell. This year, getting Le'Veon Bell to obviously take some of the pressure off Sam Darnold. So Le'Veon Bell is going to be able to take pressure off Sam Darnold to make those big throws. But they got a decent receiving core with Robbie Anderson and some of those guys. Nothing too crazy on the receiving core. They got a pretty good mid-level defense. I like their defense. They got Quinnen Williams, the rookie from Bama. He's a defensive tackle, so he's going to add a little more fire to that defensive line. Their linebacking core is okay. Their secondary is pretty good. Yeah, so got a pretty decent defense. Leonard Williams, adding Quinnen Williams, I think they're going to have a pretty good defensive line, decent secondary, linebacking core, pretty average. I think, like I said, I think this team is going to come down to how much better is Sam Darnold and how much does Le'Veon contribute. I think they could start 0-6. They have a stretch. They play the Browns, New England, Eagles, Dallas, and then New England again. So I think they could start 0-6. And just with the lack of talent, I don't really see the Jets doing anything crazy this year. They'll probably split the divisional games with the Jets and Miami. So I got them going 5-11, worst record in the division. But I think they have potential with Sam Darnold. I really like him. He had a decent year last year. I think he's going to be better this year. And like I said, he's got Le'Veon, so that's going to take somewhat of a weight off his shoulders. So I think obviously a rebuilding year for the Jets, but they have some young pieces where I think maybe next couple of years they'll actually be competing. Last but not least, well, kind of least, we got Miami. So the Dolphins, interesting this year. So you got the Ryan Fitzpatrick and Josh Rosen quarterback. You got the young, unproven young guys, second year in the league, pretty much got thrown out from Arizona. They'd rather have Kyler Murray over Josh Rosen, so they traded him to Miami. I really don't like it because I'm not a big Kyler Murray fan. I would have personally kept Josh Rosen. Not saying he's like a great quarterback or anything. I think he has potential, but I would have kept him over getting Kyler Murray. So is he really chosen Rosen? I guess we'll find out. He's got a lot to prove in Miami, and he's got to go in a dogfight of a quarterback battle with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Fitz magic. We've seen him blow up before. So I think this is going to be a really interesting quarterback. But I think it'll get Josh Rosen to really, work for his position. And I'd like to see him on there week 1. I'd like to see what he can do. Brian Flores says in a best case scenario, they only want to play one quarterback. But things happen. So he also said that potentially each quarterback could play throughout the year, so he's not going to be dead set on one or the other before the start of the season. They have a really good receiving core. Could be one of the best in the league with Kenny Stills, Devontae Parker, and Albert Wilson. Kenny Stills is a beast. Devontae Parker really hasn't lived up to expectations yet, but this could be a big year for him now with a legit quarterback. One of the other guys, and Albert Wilson's pretty good too. Their offensive line's pretty bad, so I think that's what's going to hold them back. Last year they did get a rookie left guard, but their offensive line is probably one of the worst in the league, so that could be what limits them. They got Kalen Ballage and Kenyon Drake as their backs. I like Kalen Ballage. Kenyon Drake's decent too, so that's a pretty mid-level running back core. I think they'll be pretty decent. Defensive line should be good because they got Christian Wilkins from Clemson. He's a beast. And Charles Harris, they're talking about in training camp that he's having a good training camp. They're expecting a lot out of him this year. Their secondary is pretty good. They got the veteran Rashad Jones and then Xavier Howard, the young star. I'm pretty sure he was injured last year, but he'll be back. So Xavier Howard's a beast corner. And they have a decent linebacking core. Raekwon McMillan, Jerome Baker, Kiko Alonso. That could turn into a pretty decent linebacking core, but Raekwon and Jerome Baker really need to step up this year, and Kiko's kind of the old guy now. So they're obviously in rebuild mode, but I don't think Miami's far off from being a playoff team. I think they got to improve that offensive line, improve some on defense, and if one of these guys is the quarterback, then maybe they move on. I would pick Josh Rosen over Fitzpatrick just because Fitzpatrick, he's not going to be playing football that much longer. But there's also talk that they may still be potentially looking to draft Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert in this year's upcoming draft. And if they get one of those guys, watch out because both those dudes are beasts. So I'd love to see one of those guys in Miami and take over this franchise. But maybe Rosen does it this year and they won't have to. My prediction is 6-10. So I think they have a pretty average schedule. It's not the most challenging schedule in the league. I think they're going to go 6-10, new head coach, but they could do better as well, maybe 8-8. And they're, to me, the team. Those Miami and Buffalo have a chance to be really good within the next couple of years, and the Jets too, just depending on what they do. But I think one of these two teams, when Brady leaves, is going to be the one that really takes charge of the division. Cool. All right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to be doing the AFC North video, probably come out Thursday, so be looking for that. I'm excited for that. And as always, drink responsibly. All right, guys, like, subscribe, let me know what you think.